What's going on, guys? My name is Jeff with Slayers Gaming, and today is patch day. 7.1.5 is now live on the servers, and I've been testing out Unholy in 2v2 rated 2v2 arenas today, pretty much most of the day. And you know what, guys? The damage for Unholy is actually pretty good now. I mean, I'm actually really surprised by the amount of damage that I'm doing now and the amount of pressure that I'm actually putting out in 2v2 arenas, whereas before the damage was so bad that I really didn't have high hopes for the spec whatsoever. But now, with all these small tweaks, like I was on MMO Champion and I saw all the final changes to Unholy, and if you look at some of these changes, I mean they're kind of small, right? Like, 6% buff to our unholy spells. We have a buff of 17% to death coil, and whereas other classes are getting like crazy buffs, like elemental shaman that's getting like a almost an 800% damage buff to, I forget what spell it's called, frost something, but like the changes to Unholy, they're like tweaks basically. But these small tweaks, all these small tweaks basically amounted to Unholy being actually pretty good now. So today what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you, for one, my arena rating, and then I'm going to be showing you my my build that I actually used today to climb in 2v2s, and then I'm going to be showing you the rotation. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright, guys, welcome back, and we are broadcasting from Warlords of Draenor. Remember this place? Man, it feels like so long ago that we were in Stormshield queuing up for Ashran, and I don't know what I'm doing. I think I get like almost no frame rate drop here because it's kind of dead. So I kind of just chilling out right now. So alright, guys, so like I said, arena rating today I did a really good push. I ended up at 1953 rating. I played 13 games today and I won 10 of them as Unholy, and surprisingly I was actually beating Frost Death Knights. So let me show you the build that I'm using. Now keep in mind, guys, that this is my build. I'm not necessarily saying this is going to be a cookie cutter spec. It all depends on your playstyle, but for me this is what actually was working today when I was doing 2v2s for a couple hours. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm taking all will serve, because this makes it so that if the enemy team kills my pet, which they do a lot, I can resummon it, and it doesn't incur a 60-second cooldown. Whereas with this, pretty much guarantees that I always have a pet up. And in addition to that, it summons an extra dude, this guy right here, the Risen Skulker, and it's like I guess like a Risen Skeleton Bowman type of thing. And this guy is very annoying because what I do against healer DPS comps is I basically put this guy and my ghoul on the healer, or if I'm not attacking the healer, then I pretty much put it on the DPS. So I'm going with all will serve. On the next, on the second tier here, I'm going with Blighted Rune Weapon, because Pestilent Pustules got a really bad nerf. I don't know why they did this, but instead of every 6 festering wounds giving you a rune, now it's actually 8. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't actually see this as worth it anymore, because in arenas the most that we can pop at one time is like 4 with our Apocalypse. But after that, this talent just isn't worth it anymore, guys. So I'm going with this one, Blighted Rune Weapon, which makes it so our auto attacks infect our target with festering wounds. So that means that I could pop this, wait a couple of seconds, and then it automatically infects my target with festering wounds. So it's pretty much like a you pretty much pop this and forget about it, and it does, you know, the festering wound infection for you, which is kind of cool. Next tier I'm going with Clawing Shadows, because as a Death Knight we don't have a lot of gap closers. We do have a grip, which is on a 25-second cooldown, and then we do have like Wraith Walk, which is a 45-second cooldown, but those aren't really good gap closers, guys, because when you grip a druid or a mage, they'll just blink out of it, no problem, and you're going to be probably in a root or a snare or something like that. So with Clawing Shadows, it makes it so that even if you're not on the target, right, you're still able to do damage from range. And the range of this thing is actually pretty long. Check this out, guys. I mean, I can hit a target from really, really far away. So I'm going with Clawing Shadows, this tier. This tier right here, it's optional, but I personally like to have some kind of CC in 2v2, especially when I'm going in for a kill. Having a stun that lasts 5 seconds is actually pretty good if you don't have any form of CC on your comp. So this is really good. Alternately, you can take Sludge Belcher, because with Sludge Belcher you actually get a ghoul that doesn't have a stun, but it does have another gap closer in itself. So technically speaking, although you don't have a asphyxiate anymore, you can probably catch your target a little bit better with this thing, Sludge Belcher. But for right now, I'm going with Asphyxiate for the CC. This tier is pretty much, it depends on what comp I'm facing. If I'm facing a spell heavy team, like, I don't know, a mage, a shadow priest, a warlock, or whatnot, I'll take this. But if not, most of the time I just take Corpse Shield. The only problem with Corpse Shield is that if your healer forgets to heal your ghoul when you have this up and it dies, then you can't resurrect your ghoul for 30 seconds, and as Unholy, we need our ghouls, and so that's the only downside about that. But this is what I'm taking. This tier here, I'm taking Infected Claws, because like I said, guys, when I'm doing 2v2, I like to put my pets on the target that I'm not on, and the reason why is because, as you can see right here, even though I'm not on that particular enemy player, my pet is infecting that player with festering wounds. So that means that if I want to swap on that target, I have festering wounds up already, and I can just start DPSing them down. So Infected Claws is really good. Shadow Infusion is okay, but for me, for my playstyle, I like Infected Claws because it matches my playstyle and the strat of basically wearing the team down. And then lastly, this tier, I've actually been testing them out this season because I kind of want to think outside the box. But ultimately, guys, yeah, Soul Reaper is going to be the best choice in this situation. It's really good because it's pretty much a haste buff, a mini haste buff for your Death Knight, and it lasts 15 seconds. So technically speaking, this is a 30-second cooldown, and you can use it. I mean, you can basically have a mini haste buff every 30 seconds. So these are the talent choices that I'm using for 2v2 arenas on my Unholy Death Knight. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. In my next video, I'm going to be talking to you about the general rotation for Unholy Death Knights, and also I'm going to be showing you the Swifty one-shot macro for Unholy DKs. So basically how to burst somebody down in arenas. And lastly, I'm going to be showing you my honor talents as well. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.